Hello everyone. In today's class, we'll study the financial statements of non-profit organization. This is a chapter from class 12th accountancy. So let us start with the meaning of non-profit organization. Non-profit organization is a separate legal entity not owned by any individual, are set up with the objective of cultural, educational, health, religious, etc. So these kind of organizations are not meant for business purposes, are not created with the objective of earning profit, but these are having a main objective of cultural, educational, health, religious purposes, etc. The common examples of these kinds of organizations can be schools, colleges, hospitals, then literary societies, clubs, etc. In the organizations or in the business organizations, if I say, when we prepare financial statements, we do prepare trading profit and loss account and balance sheet. While preparing the financial statements of a partnership firm, we do prepare trading profit and loss account, profit and loss appropriation account, partners capital account, and balance sheet. But while preparing the financial statements of a non-profit organization, the three statements are prepared which fall under the domain of final accounts or the financial statements of a non-profit organization, that is receipts and payments account, income and expenditure account, and balance sheet, of which the important thing to be considered here is receipts and payments account is prepared on cash basis of accounting, while income and expenditure account and balance sheet are prepared on accrual basis of accounting. I hope you must be remembering the difference or the meaning of cash basis and accrual basis of accounting. Under cash basis of accounting, the transactions are recorded as and when the actual cash is received or paid, while under accrual basis of accounting, we do adjustments for outstanding expenses, prepaid expenses, unearned income, and accrued incomes. So keep this thing remember, that is receipts and payment account is prepared on cash basis of accounting, while income and expenditure account and balance sheet are prepared on accrual basis of accounting. The preparation of receipts and payment account is exactly similar to the preparation of cash book as we had studied in our class 11th. The cash book which were having two sides, that is the left hand side which was the receipts side and the right hand side which was the payment side. So the preparation of receipts and payments account is exactly similar as of the cash book as we had studied in class 11, and today we'll be taking a detailed explanation of that. Before that, let me tell you, in this chapter the total topics to be studied will be the preparation of receipts and payments account, the preparation of income and expenditure account with and without adjustments, the preparation of balance sheet, the topic known as fund based accounting, then the calculation of subscription by preparation of subscription account. What does subscription mean? Subscription is a main source of income or a main source of revenue for non-profit organizations. And lastly, we need to calculate the value of cost of consumable stores or the cost of materials consumed. For example, financial statements of non-profit organization under hospital, suppose. If we are preparing the financial statements of a public hospital, obviously hospital falls under the domain of non-profit organization. So in hospital there can be a situation that they are selling medicines also, they are having certain other medical equipments also. So for the medicines, there can be opening stock of medicines, there can be closing stock of medicines, and in the current accounting period, how many medicines have been sold or have been medicines consumed by giving it to the patients. That is actually known as consumable stores. So we need to calculate the value of cost of consumable stores also. These are the total topics that we have to study in this chapter, and today we'll be discussing in detail the receipts and payments account. As I told you, the preparation of receipts and payments account is exactly the same as we had studied the preparation of cash book in our class 11th. So here is the format of receipts and payment account, and you can just take a screenshot also for your later studies purpose. It has started with the first item you can see on the debit side, which is known as the receipt side. The first item written here is to balance brought down, and this balance brought down is of cash in hand and cash at bank. These are the opening balances. These are the opening balances of cash and bank balance in the beginning of the accounting period, which will be written as to balance brought down. And similar thing we used to do in class 11th cash book also. In cash book also we start our question with to balance brought down. There can be a situation of by balance brought down also if there is an overdraft balance in the bank. If there is an overdraft balance, there can be a by balance brought down. Otherwise there will be to balance brought down for cash and bank. The right hand side is known as the credit side, which is the payment side actually in this receipts and payments account. So the debit side is the receipt side, while the credit side is the payment side. We will start our solution by mentioning the opening balance of cash on the debit side. After that, by whatever source we will be receiving cash in the business, we will mention those items on the receipt side. So let us check few of the items. Actually, the thing is, we just need to make it clear to our mind that what items are to be income in nature and what items are to be of expense in nature. There are certain items in the chapter of non-profit organizations. There are certain terms that you will just heard for the first time. So let us start with few of the items. Subscription. We are starting with the items of receipts, the items of income, the items of revenue. Subscription. As I told you, subscription is the main source of income or revenue for a non-profit organization, so will be mentioned on the receipt side. Then any donations received, general donations received, or any grants for specific purposes, or the entrance or the admission fees that we had received or the non-profit organization has received. Any general grants the organization has received. Any sale of newspaper or journals or grass or any other thing, any sort of sale or sale of old used sports material. These can be various examples only. There can be other kinds of items which can be mentioned in the name of sale. The interest received on investment, the income from concerts or the lectures delivered, the dividends that we had received, any rent we had received. Suppose any part of a building has been given on rent, any rent received or any interest received will be mentioned on the receipt side. The miscellaneous receipts, if any, life membership fees, subscriptions for specific purposes, donations for specific purposes, legacies, endowment fund, sale of fixed assets, receipts on account of specific funds, that is match fund, prize fund, library fund, building fund, etc. So these are the few items. The gist of the lecture is we have to mention each and every item that we had received in cash on the receipt side, whether it may be of the revenue nature or it may be of a capital nature. At a later stage, of the items total have been mentioned in the receipts and payment account, we will just classify the items which are related to revenue in nature will go to income and expenditure account, while the items which relates to capital in nature will go to the balance sheet. But while preparing receipts and payment account, there is no distinction to be made on the nature of the items as of revenue or capital in nature, but instead we will just mention the items on the receipt side if we have received the cash, and we will mention the items on the payment side if we have made the payments. So let us see few of the items on the payment side also of the receipts and payment account. We have the salary, rent, postage expenses, advertisement expenses, newspaper and magazines, repair, audit fees, miscellaneous expense, insurance, secretary's honorarium. What does secretary's honorarium mean, or its nature? The nature of secretary's honorarium is, it is a expense for the non-profit organization. It is revenue in nature. For example, any person has delivered a lecture, has provided certain services voluntarily, and for that if we are making certain amount of payment to him, that will be known as honorarium. So secretary's honorarium or honorarium both will be on the expense side or the payment side. Then municipal taxes, price distributed, office expenses, expenses on show, miscellaneous payments, purchase of fixed assets, sports equipments, investments, books, loan, repayment of loan. If loan acquired will be there, will be on the receipt side, but if repayment of loan is there, will be on the payment side. Buildings, and finally the balancing figure will be mentioned as by balance carried down as the closing balance of cash in hand and the closing balance of cash at bank. Here it will end with the preparation of receipts and payment account. You can take a screenshot, you can note it down all the items in your copy and just cram it. Let us continue with one numerical question of this receipts and payment account. Here we are having a question in front of you. From the following information given below, prepare receipts and payments account of Friends Club Delhi for the year ended 31st March 2019. We are having certain items given. We just have to identify that what items will be of receipt in nature and what items will be of expense, that is a payment in nature. So let us start with that. First of all, cash on 1st April 2018 will be opening balance of cash will be mentioned on the receipt side, that is debit side of receipts and payment account. After that, subscription is a receipt, donation is a receipt, entrance fees is also a receipt, rent realized from club halls, rent realized means rent received, it will also be mentioned on the debit side, that is receipt side. Now electricity charges will be an expense, so it will go on the payment side. Salary, wages, honorarium, salary and wages, honorarium to secretary, these will go on the payment side. But interest received, again it's a receipt, interest received on investment, on the receipt side it will come. Then printing and stationery, petty expenses, insurance premium, these will go on the expense side. So 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 and 6, total 6 items we have to mention on the receipt side. Here we have the solution we had started, that is on the top we will mention the name of the statement, receipts and payments account. Under that we have to mention the date, on which date we are preparing the last date of the accounting period, that is for the year ended 31st March 2019. The left hand side will be the debit side, while the right hand side will be the credit side. On the receipt side we had mentioned subscriptions, donations, entrance fees, rent received from club halls and interest on investments received. 1 2 3 4 5 the items, and we had started it obviously with the to balance, brought down the opening balance of cash which was given in the question. So the items which were related to the receipts of cash, we have mentioned it on the debit side. Now electricity charges, taxes, salaries and wages, honorarium to secretary, printing and stationery, petty expenses and insurance premium. These items will be mentioned on the payment side. So let us come on the payment side. Here we have mentioned all the items, that is electricity charges, taxes, salary and wages, honorarium to secretary, printing and stationery, petty expenses, insurance premium, and finally the balance carried down have been calculated as of balancing figure, which have come to rupees 3,30,000, and here ends up the preparation of receipts and payments account. Nothing you have to do. What you have to do, you just have to identify the items given, that what items will be the receipt of cash and the what items will be the payment in nature. The items where you are receiving cash will be mentioned on the receipt side, and the items where you are making the payment will be mentioned on the credit side as the payment side of the receipts and payments account. You can practice few more questions from your book as of illustrations or unsolved. I hope you all have understood this lecture. In the next video, we will discuss the preparation of subscription account and the calculation of subscription for the current accounting period. If you have find the video useful, do not forget to like, share the video to your friends, and subscribe the channel if you are new here, and hit the notification button so you will get all the latest updates for the latest video what I will upload. In here on this channel we get the complete syllabus of class 12th accountancy, business studies and economics. Thank you.